Yo, SNA fans, this is Super Ninja Austin back here with another wrestling news episode. This is the 135th episode of the SNA podcast, which is the wrestling news part 47, and we're gonna be and Super Ninja Austin's gonna be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know. And I'm gonna read the wrestling news for today's video on the WrestleZone article, like on November 21st, 2023. Starting off with Randy Orton revealed as final member of Team Rhodes at WWE Survivor Series. And then it says right here, the rumors are true. The Apex Predator will be at WWE Survivor Series when Randy Orton will make his return to join Team Rhodes during last night's episode of WWE Monday Night Raw. It was revealed Drew McIntyre would be joining Team Judgment Day in their War Games match at Survivor Series. WWE's general manager Adam Pearce, then WWE Raw's general manager Adam Pearce, then confirmed that it would be a 5-on-5 versus 5 match. Now, it Cody Rhodes and Co had to find a fifth member in a match for War Games Advantage. Later that night, Drew McIntyre closed out the show by beating Jey Uso after a brawl between both teams, ending in Team Rhodes clearing the ring. Cody took to the microphone in a close to the show. Rhodes said that they had a fifth team member and they should be looked at as prey because they have the Apex Predator. With the crowd chanting Randy, and Rhodes said the crowd already knew who it was and that he'd be there on Saturday. And what do you guys think, like, that the fifth member being Randy Orton? Are you very excited and looking forward for this Saturday to see the long-awaited a year and a half return of the Viper, Randy Orton? Sound off in the comments below. Now, are you going to be able to see an RKO out of nowhere on the pay-per-view? We got some Chris Statlander news. Is like she's saying using the biggies more than a woman has been discussed before. Chris Statlander is more than a woman. Could she see the biggies, a song of the same name, being used as her entrance theme? Chris Statlander recently spoke with WrestleZone managing editor Bill Pritchard. She is aware that that her moniker in AEW is linked to the Biggies more than a woman. Statlander previously told Alicia out a tout that she has the song on her main playlist of feel good songs, and she loves the vibe of disco love songs. And this is what the former TBS championship had to say. She said, "It is on my main playlist that I just that I just like the this is the one when I don't know what I want to listen to. I just put this playlist that I made on all my feel good songs. So that one is a regularly played track." Statlander told a, a tout, I just love the vibe of 80s music, 80s love songs, and like disco love songs and stuff. They just make you feel so good. They're just such a happy, it's just a happy. I don't know. There's just something about them. See, she noted, especially when I'm sitting on an airplane and I'm just traveling. It's almost like a music video. You have that, oh, I'm in a music video type of thing. Like licensed songs have grown in popularity in AEW. Is there a possibility she would want to use the song as her own entrance theme? Saying, I think it's been a discussion before, Statlander explained, but there's a lot of inner workings that go into getting a song, and I am not one to press matters. I do think it would be really cool if that could be a thing, but it if it happens, it happens. If not, okay. And what do you think about Chris Statlander possibly getting a new theme song, especially for the love of 80s music, 80s love songs, and 80s disco love songs? I mean not 80s, disco love songs. Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Let's hope I don't get power bombed by her by another table on Fight Forever. Please cross your fingers and pray for SNA here. But anyways, okay, let's move on to the next article. It's some Willow Nightingale news on Athena is the perfect foil. She gave the best match of my life so far. And this is what the former New Japan Strong Women's Champion had to say on an interview with WrestleZone. Like, looks at what matches you should be watching, and they are recommended by today's professional wrestling stars. WrestleZone recently spoke with Willow Nightingale, who picked a few recent matches that stand out in her mind. Willow beat Mercedes Moné for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, which I brought up on, which I just called her the former women's champion. But anyways, but she wanted to shine the spotlight on one of her other tournament matches. In particular, this is what Willow had to say. She said, "I have I have two that came to mind because that same day that I wrestled Mercedes, I had to wrestle Minmo Momo Kogo, like in the first round of the tournament. Oh yeah, from Resurgence. Like she wrestled that Japanese girl that was in the same night, but before she faced Mercedes Monet at Resurgence. But anyways, and I think that is probably a top three favorite match for me of all time. And it gets very overshadowed by the fact that I wrestled Mercedes that same night. Mumo is an amazing competitor. I I love that has had come back to the U.S. to do that. New Japan, Im- New Japan, to do that New Japan Impact crossover. Willow explained. And when she was asked the more Muno matches, she's like, I would love to see her continue to come to the USA to wrestle and have her fan base grow uh, here and worldwide, because not only is she someone who gives so much heart to professional wrestling, but outside of the ring, she had made she has made me feel so comfortable. And when I was in Japan, last, and she's just an amazing person. She continued, and I feel like it's very good a very good match that that shows the dynamic of my strength and her quickness in a nice quick 10-minute easy peasy to match uh and digest, like from a technical standpoint. That's my favorite. Like Willow Nightingale also highlighted her highly praised uh, Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor main event match against Athena, another former women's WWE wrestler. She noted that history involved, but also praised Athena, that the forever champ, as being the yin to her yang. And this is what Willow had to say. The match that I had with Athena at this most recent Ring of Honor pay-per-view, I think emotionally is my favorite match, of course, for being the first women to main event a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. That's that's very important, but I do feel like in ring I had a very special connection to Athena. I I think we have very good chemistry, Willow said. I think she is perfect foil for my the perfect foil of my happy going lucky cheery self. She is incredibly hard hitting and pulls that out of me. And I just think it is maybe my favorite or best match of this year or my life so far. And what do you think about Willow Nightingale praising the likes of Momo Kogo, I believe her name is Momo Kogo, and Mercedes Monet, and recently Athena from Death Before Dishonor from the Ring of Honor pay per view, being being the three women's wrestlers that she had the three best women's wrestling matches so far. And even though it's not like AEW women's wrestling matches, but I bet she had after those favorite matches, I believe she had some good matches on AEW, but those are not over from what she had in Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But yeah, and she has nothing but high hope praises for the three women she shared in the ring in 2023 so far. Y'all sound off in the comments below. And then let's move on to the next wrestling news. Now it is. Let's move on to the next wrestling news article. Uh, and we got some Ric Flair news now. Is he hope AEW turn him loose? Like shares phil- philosophy on being a wrestling manager. And according to the Nature Boy, Ric Flair is the best going to be the best job he can in AEW, no matter what his role is. According, speaking, like WrestleZone spoke with the Nature Boy during his appearance at Las Vegas, like Planet 13, the world's largest cannabis dispensary. Ric Flair was promoting his Ric Flair drip line of cannabis products like that. The Nature Boy said that the success of the brand continues to amaze him, and he's happy that people are happy with the product. Like like this is what he had to say. Like in Las Vegas Planet 13, he said, "Phenomenal. Every time I think I see something big and big and think it can get bigger. It gets bigger." Flair said. We partnered with them and had a great turnout at Planet 13, and people were buying the product left and right. Everybody's happy, which is all that matters to me. It's showtime. Uh, Flair recently joined All Elite Wrestling. First, first appearing as a surprise for Sting, who is on his retirement tour. The dynamic, the dynamic is interesting because Flair and Sting are storied rivals. Like Flair noted didn't how he didn't publicly socialized with Sting then, but now they maintain solid friendship. Flair also noted, we've always been friends. We've been close friends, but he's like Steamboat. I didn't socialize with those guys. I just I just made money with them. But because I'm a little bit different as well, I do I do my thing, and those guys are constant or considerably more conservate conservative than I am. We have mutual respect. All of, all of us, and word and the word respect means the world to me. To me, Flair said. Steve always Steve always says always says I made made him he made me himself that night. He explained, referencing their famed match at the NWA Clash of the Champions in 1988, who goes 45 minutes, but we've we said we but you've never done more than 10. You know what? I mean, I I thought it I thought it was 52 minutes, but but Meltzer told me it was 45. I think he knocked knocked out a few minutes off laughs like that Ric Flair did. Like Flair is expected to be at Sting's to be at Sting's side. Expected to be at Sting's side throughout his retirement tour, which is scheduled to end at AEW Revolution in March. When asked uh, what his expectations are for his role, Flair said those were questions he couldn't answer. However, Flair said he is looking forward to giving his best no matter what AEW I asked of him. He said, to be honest, with with you, uh, with you, I don't know. I'm not obviously going to talk about the contract, but I just know I'm looking forward to working for Tony Khan. And the reception backstage for me was over the top, and all that's all you want. Like Flair pointed out, I don't want to I don't want to be a politician and I don't want to do anything. I just wanted to do what they asked me to do and do the best job of it I can and I hope they turn me loose. Flair clarified that he does not believe AEW will ask him to wrestle if he remains in a managerial role. He believes he does need he does need to get physical at some point, like feeding it for the opponent. What do you think about him not wrestling anytime soon? And if he needs to remain as a managing role, he'll gladly do that. And what do you think about him being in? He's gonna continue being alongside Sting for no matter what, and for his until his retirement tour. Do you think he's going to be his last opponent in his last match? Sound off in the comments below, and also, do you what do you think about him making profit into his his cannabis product of it, especially him selling it at the 13th Planet venue? Sound off in the comments below on that as well. What do you think about him being having mutual respect and being mutual friends with Sting and Ricky Dragon Steamboat? Y'all let me know also in the comments down below. And yeah, they wrestled in the exact same generations in the late '80s. And he even mentioned that he even wrestled him at the Clash of the Castles National Wrestling Alliance's event in 1988, which was 45 minutes, which he said Dave Meltzer corrected me and said it was, it was actually 52 minutes, but Ricky the Dragon Steamboat corrected it was 45 minutes, which he said it was 45 minutes off. He was a few minutes off, and he took off 7 minutes, and what do you think about that? And it says, and when he was also asked if he was ready for any kind of action, he said, I just feel very strong, and this is a point you can emphasize. I think if you are in a managerial role and you are put in a position of getting heat on somebody, which even after Steve retires, and they keep me along, I would love to do that, but I think it's very important if you're going to help get to get the heat, then you gotta be able to get knocked down, Flair stated. There's no better answer to the question than that. I don't expect to wrestle. Could I? Yes, because I'll learn from my mistakes. You always learn from past mistakes, but I don't think that'll ever happen. But I'll certainly want to be able to to feed a guy if I helped get heat on them, because it's only fair to the babyface or the good guys, rather, like that he gets a shot at the guy. That's how they prevail. They beat the villain, and then they had a smack someone around that's been associated with them. He said, I am cleared for that, and even if I wasn't I'm feeding. That's the way it works. And what do you think about him? Assuming that he's not gonna enter into the ring, but he's not gonna rule it out. Like when if that time comes, sound off in the comments below. And do you think he's gonna wrestle somebody? And who you think is he gonna have a dream match with in All Elite Wrestling? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Also, what do you think about him being a manager despite Sting retiring? And do you think he's gonna manage his son-in-law Andrade El Idolo, or could it be somebody else? That could be somebody similar, perhaps an MJF if he stays in AEW, or some kind of another heel wrestler. But yeah, again, let me know in the comments below. He also said, I think I'm a guy that's lucky. Oh yeah, and he also said he will, and if he have a chance to, and what do you think about him having the chance to face a good guy, a baby face even into this match? I mean into a dream match. And putting them over and then and he said he admitted that he also admitted that he's clear to compete, and if he doesn't, and if he wasn't clear enough to compete, and if that like he'll be managing to put over the young guy. He said, "Yeah, I think I'm a guy that's lucky enough to be along for the ride, and what happens." And he said, as Pedro Morales said years ago, I'm Pedro Morales said years ago, I'm ready for any kind of action, and by the way, I'll have a blade on my finger, bro- brother. Flair added, so you can pass the along. I I don't I don't go to work without a blade. Like last he laughs. I'll take a I'll take a I'll take an aspirin so I really bleed. And what do you think about this confession of him taking an aspirin so he can bleed more? And that explains from the past 50 years of him doing so, like when him bleeding more than he should be bleeding. Like he'd bleed more than John Moxley do, and I wouldn't be surprised. Even if he does step in the ring, he'll be showing giving pointers to John Moxley on how to bleed. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about Flair's status in AEW in the comments below after hearing this interview from the Nature Boy. But let's move on to the next wrestling news is Gunter on match with The Miz. And it says the ring general on will be a clash of styles. And it says right here, the ring general Gunther is looking forward to stepping into the ring with the Miz this weekend at WWE Survivor Series in Chicago. The current longest reigning defending Intercontinental Champion in WWE history, Gunther recently sat down with Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated when when asked about his upcoming title defense against The Miz. Gunther said he's looking forward to the opportunity. He said, I'm looking forward to the opportunity of being in the ring with one of the top stars of the past 10 years. Gunther said, I'm looking forward to proving myself against him. When asked why he was excited about the match, Gunther recalled The Miz, one of the most decorated wrestlers to ever come through the WWE system. He also added about The Miz, I'm not a typical WWE guy, Gunther said. I established and developed myself far away from WWE. Miz is different. He went through the WWE system and he's living proof of how effective the system is. He's one of the most decorated wrestlers they've ever had. So it will be a clash of styles. What do you think about and what do you think about Gunther's uh, thinking about the Miz? Like what calling him one of the most decorated stars in WWE, and he would and one of the biggest stars from the past 10 years. And and do you think that he's going to retain his Intercontinental Championship against the Miz, which I believe he will, to remain his championship for another month until losing it to Chad Gable, which is my prediction from the past 3 months ever since I've been doing the SNA podcast. And or do you think the Miz is gonna prove Gunther wrong of him retaining, and he's gonna tie Chris Jericho's record, like I brought up last night on the SNA podcast of the Raw review, episode 134, the Raw review part 15. Make sure y'all check that one out. But yeah, sound off in the comments down below. We're gonna move on to the next wrestling news, and that is and we got some wrestler sticks, like a basketball bat, well, not basketball, baseball bat. I mean, a wrestler sticks a not basketball, baseball bat, sticks the baseball bat up his opponent's ass, calls it a casual Friday. Joey Mayberry is an independent wrestler based in the Midwest. He shared a clip from one of his recent matches where he used a baseball bat with on his opponent, and not in not in a normal manner. It stings it sting away either. Not in a normal it sting way either, I should say. Mayberry had had his opponent prop on the turnbuckle and proceed to magically shove the baseball bat up his adversaries rectum, I should say rectum rectum. Like now, before you get outraged, like on on get outraged on AI Gore's internet and say that. Dang it! Why did interrupted me while I'm trying to read the article right now? It says now, before you get outrageous on AI Gore's internet and say that is not my wrestling in the year of 2023, this the self like the proclaimed dad, the self-proclaimed dad bod demigod says the crowd ate it up, like like the like it's saying like I stuck a bat up a man's ass, and that and the crowd roared like Mayberry. He wrote casual, and he said, and he described it as casual Friday. And what do you think about Joey? What do you think about Joey Mayberry doing this maneuver? Called it a casual Friday. And do you think he's going to be getting an offer by either WWE or AEW, or maybe another professional wrestling promotion such as Impact Wrestling, about to be going back as TNA, or the NWA, NJPW, or Pro Wrestling Noah, or AAA CMLL, uh, or any Major League Wrestling, or any of those promotions in all of professional wrestling? Sound off in the comments section down below. We're going to move on to the next wrestling news now, and it is we got some Cody Rhodes news now, and it is glad he actually walked with his infamous independent list. And it says there are several wrestlers who have not been able to succeed in a major way once they had been released from WWE. But then again, there are a handful of stars who become the most popular superstars outside WWE. That the Stanford-based promotion rehires them. One such star is Cody Rhodes. He has secured his release from WWE a few years ago. Then he went on to become the top champion in multiple promotions. Cody Rhodes also helped start at AEW. Now the American Nightmare is back in WWE. Recently, the American Nightmare reflected on his list of that he had released in back in the day when he was working in the independent circuit. The list had a bunch of names whom Cody Rhodes would love to wrestle. Some of the names include Adam Cole, former Ring of Honor World Champion, uh, Dalton Castle, former Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion Moose, the Young Bucks, popular Japanese star Shibata, wrestling legend Pat Buck, and many more. The ES Wrestling's Twitter account shared the picture with Rhodes' list, I should say, and claimed that the particular picture had had changed the independent wrestling scene. Cody Rhodes shared this pic, uh, really really changed independent wrestling, like and noted that he agreed. And upon seeing the tweet, the American Nightmare replied by mentioning that initially for him it it was just a list, but but the said list motivated him to achieve a lot of goals and also helped him gain a lot of good friends along the way. The list also inspired other talents as well. It was just a list at first, but with it, I'm very glad we actually walked and not just talked. And I remain very lucky. So I'm very, very lucky. Many good folks followed along Cody Rhodes tweet. And what do you think about Cody Rhodes replying this on the ES Wrestling's Twitter account, and him having a list of wrestlers that he want to wrestle with the likes of being Adam Cole, Dalton Castle, and Moose and the Young Bucks and Shibata and Pat Buck. Y'all let me know down in the comments right down below. We're gonna move on to the next wrestling news now. And then as the Bollywood boys get a cool Canadian moment thanks to Vancouver Canucks, I guess, or Canucks, I guess I could pronounce it. Hope I'm pronouncing it right, by the way. To Vancouver, by the way. One thing One thing that most professional wrestlers are determined to do is to entertain the wrestling universe. Every time they step foot inside the ring, the Bollywood Boys is a faction that always managed to entertain the audience. They they don't just try to entertain fans inside the squared circle, but also manage to have fun it outside of it. Recently, they were given an opportunity to be a part of a hockey game involving the Vancouver Canucks. Like, and it says this past weekend in a light of of the of the die of the Wally festival, the Bollywood boys celebrated it in epic fashion. The former WWE superstars got an opportunity to celebrate the festival of lights in in front of a lot of hockey fans at at a game at a at a game featuring the Vancouver Canucks. They were the hype guys for the hockey team. The former henchman of Jinder Mahal also took to Twitter to thank the Canucks for the opportunity. Like official Punjabi hype guys for the Canucks tonight on Du- Diwali, the Diwali night. Canucks, uh, Canucks fans, Canucks fan, like run Ronald Desai, thanks for the love. Vancouver for two guys who grew up playing ice hockey, watching the Canucks since the late 80s. This was a cool Canadian moment, Bollywood boys tweeted. Recently, the former WWE superstars took to Twitter to once again thank the Canucks, like the Canucks, for allowing them to blend the world of professional wrestling and hockey. That they also shared a video in which they were helping the Canucks uh, mascot Finn with the mascot Finn with some wrestling moves such as the wrist lock, and the sharpshooter. Of course, the wrestling and hockey connection with the Canucks fan, like like of them saying thank you Vancouver Canucks for this amazing platform to represent our wrestling business, our Punjabi community, and our love for hockey, NHL even, like hockey night, Punjabi hockey night, uh, Canucks, the Bollywood boys tweeted. And what do you think about the Bollywood boys making the trip over over to Vancouver, British Columbia, to 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 meet the hockey players from the Vancouver Canucks and the Canucks fans mascot, the Canucks mascot Finn? Let me know in the comments down below. But we're gonna move on to the next wrestling news now, and then it's some Drew McIntyre news now as he comments on Randy Orton return to WWE. Last night on Monday Night Raw, the Go Home Edition show before Survivor Series, Cody Rhodes confirmed to the wrestling world that the 14-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion Randy Orton is finally returning to WWE. Orton will make his in-ring return at Survivor Series. One of his former rivals, Drew McIntyre, reacted to that. Last week, Drew McIntyre seemingly joined forces with the Judgment Day and cost Jey Uso and the American Nightmare the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Thus, the Scottish Warrior kicked off last night's episode of Raw to provide answers. While doing so, McIntyre confirmed that he is not joining the Judgment Day, but will be joining their team as the fifth member of their War Games match. After that, fans saw a face-off between the two teams. Adam Pearce gave Cody Rhodes and his team time till the end of the night to choose their fifth member. The main event of the night was a match between Jey Uso and Drew McIntyre. The winner would earn the advantage of their respective teams. McIntyre managed to pick up the win to earn the advantage for his team. Then, as he tries to instill more punishment in Uso, the rest of Uso's faction came out. Cody Rhodes grabbed the microphone and announced who the fifth member of their team was going to be, although he didn't mention his name, which I mistakenly said he said Randy Orton on the SNA podcast, which he didn't really say his name. And I want to apologize for that, by the way. Rhodes revealed that he has a legacy with him and that he's the apex predator, thus confirming that it will be Randy Orton. Following this, the Scottish Warrior took to Twitter to the Scottish Warrior took to Twitter to seemingly welcome Randy Orton back into WWE by saying, "Hello, darkness, my my old friend. Hello, darkness, my old friend." And he put the hashtag Survivor Series. Drew McIntyre tweeted. And this is where he posted with a video with him face to face with Randy Orton about a couple of years ago. And here's the photo of it. And what do you think about like Randy Orton being the fifth member and being referenced that he is by his longtime best friend, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes? And also, what do you think about Drew McIntyre tweeting that he already knows that the fifth member of Team Cody of Survivor Series is going to be Orton? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And let's move on to the next wrestling news, and it is some Carmelo Hayes news. As he said, there's room for more than one. We can all be great. And this is what the former NXT champion had to say about or before I say that, Carmelo Hayes' career began to rise when he managed to win the NXT Breakout Star Tournament. He then managed to add multiple titles under his belt. The the self-proclaimed A champion managed to capture the NXT North American Championship on two separate occasions, of course. He also unified the North American Championship with and the Cruiserweight Championship when he beat Roderick Strong at New Year's Evil in January 2022 last year, a year and a half ago, of course. Hayes is also a one-time NXT champion. Since losing the NXT championship to Ilya Dragon to current champion Ilya Dragunov, Hayes has not been able to win matches also as much. Also, his friend Trick Williams was attacked by an unknown an unknown uh, assailant. With while Alexis King claims to be the mind behind Williams' attack, there's still speculations that Carmelo Hayes was the one who attacked his own friend. Last week on WWE NXT, Trick Williams qualified for the Men's Iron Survivor Challenge that will be taking place at the Deadline Premium Live event. As Williams was celebrating his win, Hayes seemed to look a tad bit jealous of his friend. Hayes still looked forward to getting an opportunity to take a part of the Iron Survivor Challenge. As mentioned earlier, Hayes is highly speculated to be the one to have attacked his friend. The reason for this quite obvious. Fans are convinced that the former NXT champion wants to be the only standing at the top of the mountain. Carmelo Hayes took to Twitter to seemingly shut those speculations down. He claims that there's more room at the top of the mountain, and thus everyone can become great and big stars together, like like big stars together. The former NXT champion, noted, we can. I mean, got posted. We can all be great. We can all be big stars. There's room for there's room for there's room for more than just one. Everybody chill. Carmelo Hayes tweeted. And what do you think about Carmelo Hayes' tweet? Do you think he's being honest, or do you think he's in some kind of denial that he's not believing what are the fans are speculating about him and Trick Williams, about the best friend relationship of Trick Williams ever getting an opportunity for the NXT championship? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. We're going to move on to the next wrestling news, and that is and also, do you think that Carmelo Hayes is the one that attacked him, or do you think it's Alexis King, or do you think it's somebody else on top of that? Give y'all's opinions in the comments below. I think we're gonna see another clue on tonight as soon as tonight's as soon as tonight's NXT, we're gonna see some more clues, and it's probably gonna lead up to next month's NXT's pay per view of the Iron Survivor. But also we're gonna talk about you too. We got some Danny Luna news now. Is she's truly believed that last 365 days have been the best in her entire career outside the realm like of WWE and AEW. There are a ton of talent who are working their rear ends off every day to prove themselves as top stars in the world of professional wrestling. One such wrestler is Danny Luna. Danny Luna is currently 24 years old. Like she was born in the town of Croydon in England, and Croydon in England back in December of 2016. The English born star made her wrestling debut. Back then, she competed under her real name, which is Chloe Smith. The first promotion that Luna wrestled in was at Evolution. Since then, she has been she has wrestled in multiple independent wrestling promotions such as Progressive, Rev Pro, which I believe who wrestled at Rev Pro. I think it was Simon. Like I think he does wrestle regularly on Progressive, yeah, or Progress. I mean, not Progressive, Progress. I mean, sorry about that. My apologies. But Rev Pro, I think also Simon also wrestles there too. Rev Pro and other wrestling promotions. Luna made a name for herself on the independent wrestling circuit. She then signed with WWE. Luna wrestled in the NXT UK promotion in early 2022. She was released from the Stanford-based promotion. After that, she also suffered a severe injury. She tore her ACL later in the years. Later in the year, she returned to the in-ring competition. One of the biggest wrestling promotions she worked with after returning from injury was Impact Wrestling. Luna took part in the Nashville-based promotions UK Invasion Tour. And I bet it was alongside Simon Miller. Speaking of which, but anyways, like recently, the 24-year-old star took to Twitter to reflect on her career since being released from WWE. She claimed that this past year has been the best period of time in her entire wrestling career. She said, I mean, 1 year ago from today, I came back from tearing my ACL and getting released from the WWE. A bad year. I laughed my ass off. I truly believe the last 365 days have been my best body of work in my entire career. Like work don't stop, more to do. Like Danny Luna tweeted. And what do you think about Danny Luna getting back into in-ring competition and faced and wrestled in NXT UK back in the beginning of 2022, but instantly got released like into the middle of the year, and also leave the and also go back to in-ring competition into the indie scene, and even had a one-off run with Impact Wrestling on the England invasion angle, but along with other indie with other European indie wrestlers that when Impact Wrestling was in Newcastle, which it features my fellow wrestling YouTuber homie Simon Miller. But yeah, but what do you think about this from Danny Luna? Y'all let me know down in the comments below, genuinely. We're going to move on to the next wrestling news, and that is and we got actor Ken Jeong news now as he praises Netflix wrestlers in AI Snow. And now on this this onto this WrestleZone article, like Ken Jeong is one of the most popular comedians in the world, in Hollywood, in the Hollywood world. Dang it, what is wrong with this? Come on. In Hollywood, in the world of Hollywood, he is very well known for his role in the Hangover trilogy movie series, which my mom recognized him from the movie series of Hangovers because we watched all three of the trilogies before, and she also known him from the sequel of Ride Along too. He's also in that movie as well. But anyways, the Hollywood star recently shared immense praise for the Netflix documentary series Wrestlers and OVW co-owner Al Snow praises Wrestlers and Al Snow. Like Jong, apart from being a successful actor in Hollywood, has also shown his love for professional wrestling. That explains why last year he was in the audience for an AEW show. And what's name had to call him out and pointed him out, and he was on the Hangover trilogy movie series and his show on ABC's that got canceled, along with Freddie Prinze Jr. being there on the same day. And he was like, "Hey, I remember you like from your role as Shaggy when you were with that CGI talking dog, and you're nothing but a Scooby Dooby douchebag." But anyways, back to this Jong news. Like Jong's a part of professional. Over the years, he has been featured on WWE programming. Oh yeah, he was one of the special guest hosts of Raw back in 2009, and most recently was at AEW's Full Gear pay-per-view. Wait, what? He was on AEW Full Gear this year in the audience? Wow, I did not know. I mean, they were in LA, like which that's Hollywood, of course, but I did not expect Ken Jong being into being present in the audience and on AEW Full Gear. But anyways, wrestlers in the documentary series that revolves around the former WWE developmental promotion, Ohio Valley Wrestling. The show takes an in-depth look into how the promotion functions and also features a lot of the behind the scenes stuff as well. King Jong took to Twitter to share his aspiration for wrestlers. He also congratulated Al Snow. Jong also shared that the show was very emotional and moving. He thanked the Blue Meanie for recommending the show to him. And what do you think about? Oh, before I say anything, he said this right here, posting saying, "Al Snow, I absolutely love your wrestlers. Wrestlers, your wrestlers documentary, so unexpectedly emotional and moving. Blue Meanie recommended it to me, and now I see why Brian loves you so much. Much love and respect for you and everyone at Ohio Valley Wrestling." Uh, Ken John Ken Jong King Jong tweeted, and it says right here, "Thank you, Ken. I'm thrilled that you enjoyed wrestlers Netflix. I do know I don't know I do know where I'd be in life without Al Snow. I love y'all, brother Blue Meanie." Not only can Jong, Rain Wilson, popularly known for his role as Dwight Schrute in the Office, praised the series as well. People of Kentucky people people of Kentucky, of Ohio, of the world, please watch wrestlers on Netflix. Wrestlers on Netflix, which is granted is kind of a confusing mishmash graveyard for a doc series, but this is a masterpiece. Like OV Wrestling, the wrestling team, like Rain Wilson. Rain Wilson tweeted as well. But what do you think about these two popular celebrities praising uh, the wrestlers series on Netflix and and thank and thank and thanking Al Snow and the Blue Meanie, which the Blue Meanie was most likely the reason why Ken Jong uh, watched the wrestler series on watch the wrestlers docu series on Netflix in the first place. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. What you think about this on the wrestling news, which is Very uh, rare to have celebrities, especially actors or comedians, particularly being on wrestling news articles. Very rare. But I appreciate that. Like for them appreciating professional wrestling. Like, but yeah, we're gonna move on to Nikita Lyons news now, as Nikita Lyons has a message for her loyal fans. Nikita Lyons is one of the most promising female stars in WWE. At one point in time, it looked like Lyons was slated to become the next NXT Women's Champion, but frequent injuries seem to have put a halt to her championship dream for now. At just 22 years old, I thought she was like 23. Maybe she's about to be. Whether if it's the end of this year or the beginning, yeah, at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. But I thought she was already 23. But she's 22, just 22 years old. She has been proved to the wrestling world that she has all the potential to become a champion in the Stanford-based promotion. Prior to signing with WWE in 2021, Lyons competed in women's the women the women of wrestling promotion under the name Faith Faith the Lioness. Wait, she wrestled in Women of Wrestling in 2021 in WoW? I did not know that. She only had a handful of matches. WWE was impressed with her in her in-ring work at the 2021 Las Vegas tryout. In this in December of 2021, Lyons made her in-ring debut for on WWE the 205 Live brand, which that was kind of weird at that time to have when 205 Live was featuring women's wrestlers. I was like, why they're gonna do this? Why not they show why not feature a NXT Women's Cruiserweight Championship while they at it? But they weren't gonna do that because it was gonna be too much, and two, they were gonna they were gonna retire the NXT Men's Cruiserweight Championship. So they were like, what's the point of making a Women's Cruiserweight Championship? Although she lost to Amari Miller in her debut, she was quickly caught up to NXT. After making her way up to the Black and Gold brand, like she held an undefeated streak. She also formed a tag team with Zoe Stark for a short time, but then both stars suffered back-to-back injuries, thus killing their momentum. After her initial MCL tour, or tear, I should say, MCL tear, Lions returned to action in late 2022. But then earlier this year, she yet again suffered an injury. Currently, the Lioness of NXT is recovering, uh, and it seems like she's closing in on a return anytime soon. Recently, Nikita Lyons took to Twitter to share her appreciation and love for her loyal fans. To the ones who've been supporting, like, what she said, to the ones who've been supporting me throughout my recovery, I freaking love you. I I like live your best life. Attack your goals and ignore the haters. We vibrate in love over here, baby. Nikita Lyons tweeted. And what do you think about what she tweeted? And there's the tweet right here on Twitter. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to read it. And if you need more time, I would recommend you pausing this video to see to read the full caption that she posted on Twitter. And what do you think about this tweet? Do you think it's only a matter of time when she returns? And do you think she's gonna return as soon as tonight's NXT, or is it gonna be on a later date, like in the next couple of weeks or next month, which is gonna be in a couple of weeks, or exactly a month, or even a couple of months in the start of the beginning of 2024? Sound off in the comments below. Okay, let's move on to the next wrestling news, our final news story, and that is the best NXT. We're going to talk about the best NXT TV matches of 2019, and we're going to and in this final news of NXT is NXT news. Closing out the wrestling news video of today of November 21st, 2023. NXT had arguably one of its strongest showings showings. I should say, yeah, I'm right. Showings in 2019. The Black and Gold brand churned down a critically acclaimed matches week in and out. Stars such as Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole kept the momentum strong with incredible action, which is true because they were like in the main event scene most of the time, with Johnny Gargano holding the championship on the early years of 2019, but only lose it a couple months later to Adam Cole, which he held it for over a year, of course. But anyways, it's strong, like incredible, which that was the I would say the golden years of NXT. Of course, it had me watching along with watching AEW at the time at the end of 2019. I'll say this was really something to watch and look forward to on Wednesday nights, like next to watching Raw on Mondays and SmackDown on Fridays, of course. But anyways, the the advent of AEW and the Wednesday Night Wars motivated Triple H and his NXT stars to put on a great show every week. NXT TV in particular thrived with some great in-ring storytelling. That being said, these are the best NXT TV matches of 2019. Like, first off, we have Keith Lee versus Donovan Dijakovic, which is now going by Dijak, versus Roderick Strong in a triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship. Roderick Strong's NXT North American title doesn't get enough appreciation, and I totally agree on that, especially with him being the championship alongside his best friend Adam Cole being the NXT championship at the time. And this was before he was the most embarrassing thing in all professional wrestling, in kayfabe, of course. But this is when the time when Roderick Strong was very cool, and he was the North American champion at the time, when Adam Cole was the NXT champion, and their other two best friends, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, were the NXT Tag Team Championships. But anyways, the Messiah of the Backbreaker gave fans some excellent matches on takeovers, and NXT TV during his 100 126-day reign. Title reign, I should say, day title reign. One of his great matches came against both Donovan Dijakovic and Keith Lee on October 23rd, 2019, which I totally agree on because that's what made him a great champion, being in the feuds with the likes of Dijakovic and Keith Lee. And I'll say, yeah, this was the one of his greatest matches of him being North American champion at the time, in his time in WWE NXT. But anyways, is that all three men displayed in-ring brilliance in this 20-minute match, main event match, I should say. Dijakovic and Lee vowed to the crowd with their chemistry. The post-match angle wherein Finn Balor turned heel on Johnny Gargano was also perfectly executed. What goes number two is Aleister Black and Ricochet and Velveteen Dream take versus Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, and Tommaso Ciampa at Halftime Heat in 2019. The same day is the horrendous Super Bowl back then, but I don't want to talk about it right here. But we are gonna talk about this splendid match. I agree. Like maybe this was the good thing about that day on the Super Bowl was the NXT halftime Heat 2019 match with the six talented stars. I'll say one of them being controversial, but the other five are still stars into their respective on their respective roles, which their current which Ricochet and Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano are on Raw on the main roster, while Adam Cole and Aleister Black, well, he's now known as Malachi Black on AEW. While Velveteen Dreams is not really looking for a wrestling work, like after his controversial after him being after the allegations of him talking to minors and sending them some inappropriate photos. But I'm not going to talk about much here. I'm going to continue talking about this match right here. Anyways, Triple H made the bold decision to revive WWE Halftime Heat in 2019. The game brought six of his top NXT stars together and pitted them inside the ring. The match featured multiple stories, all of which were tied into each other, and you had Aleister Black chasing Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship, Ricochet wanting to get his hands on the North American champion Johnny Gargano, and finally, Velveteen Dream had bad blood with Adam Cole. So what the Triple H did, the ring action was spectacular, which it was. It was something to watch, even though it was like a one match premium live event, but I would say a premium live event. I would say just a premium event, like a premium wrestling match on the WWE Network, which I watched it on my Motorola back at the time. But anyways, like all six men showcasing their craft for over 25 minutes, which it wasn't half an hour. I remember that. At this time, this was like a month before I became Super Ninja Austin. But anyways, we're gonna talk. But that's a story for another day. When I become a big time star. But anyways, the tremendous display of of in-ring psychology and and eth and eth and ethis and eth and athleticism made this six-man tag team bout like one of the best NXT matches in 2019. Up next, Rhea Ripley against Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship match in December 18th, 2019, which I agree was perhaps the match of the night. Even though it was the main event, but it didn't have to be the main event for it to be the match of the night, which it had to be the main event because it was obviously the championship match, which I believe the opener was Adam Cole against Tommaso Ciampa, I believe, which he successfully retained, only for Finn Balor to attack him afterwards in the post-match. Like, yeah, he wants to be next for the NXT Championship. Or no, it wasn't. It was the other way around. My apologies. Adam Cole beat Finn Balor. He retained the NXT Championship, only for Tommaso Ciampa to do a post-match beatdown onto the longest reigning NXT, the future longest reigning NXT champion. But yeah, and he didn't get his match until like February of 2020, late next year. But but Rhea Ripley had pinned Shayna Baszler in the women's War Games match 3 weeks prior to their title showdown. The Queen of Spades wanted to extend her title run with a win over the Nightmare. Unfortunately, she got more than she bargained for, as Rhea Ripley ran rough ran rough show a roof shot, I should say, roof shot over Baszler in the match. The champion did get some offensive, but that wasn't enough to put away the resilient challenger. This bout remains one of Rhea Ripley's best WWE matches to this day. And you can look it up on Google and they'll show you about the best matches Rhea Ripley had in her WWE career, which this is one of them, like with her beating Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship match in December 18, 2019, and at WrestleMania 37 on night 2, when she beat Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, and also beating Charlotte Flair in night 1 of WrestleMania 39 this year, recently, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now changing into the Women's World Heavyweight Championship now. But what do you think about this? Like, about this match between her and Baszler? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Up next, we got the Undisputed Era's Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly against the Revival. The Revival, like, which was, I think, near its Survivor Series, but I think this is when the Revival was the SmackDown Women's Championship until the New Day won the championships right. But me and the Great One was thinking, like, why did they didn't keep the SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the Revival? Because all 6 men would have been because they're former NXT Tag Team Championships. The Viking Raiders represent Raw as the Raw Tag Team Champions, but they're also former NXT Tag Team Championships. Like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly are like 3-time tag team champions, and they're currently holding the straps like in their 3rd reign, and the future FTR are the former 2-time NXT tag team champions, and they're a current SmackDown tag team champion until the New Day beat them recently, like after they had this bout with the Red Dragons. Like NXT TV 376, it says fans who grew up on the black and gold brand era of NXT were lucky enough to see this spectacular tag team match on free TV. The revival made their surprise return to the to NXT for one night to take on then NXT Tag Team Champions Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly of the Undisputed Era. Their their meeting turned out to be the match of the night, which I would say, coming to remembering, like whenever this specific date was at this time, I would instantly agree on this. Instantly agree onto this term that WrestleZone is describing the bout. But anyways, the match of the night, as well as the best NXT TV matches in 2019. Scott, what say Scott and Dawson? I think they meant to say Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, which they're now known as Harwood and Cash Wheeler, like brought their hard hitting style to the match. The tech the technical pro the prowess the prowess of Fish and O'Reilly, though the though the revival were unable to pick up the win in their comeback match on the black and gold brand, they ended up stealing the show with their performance. And then up next we got Adam Cole versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship, which I brought up, which was probably the opener of November 18th. Finn Balor made his shocking return to NXT on an episode that went head to head on the first for Wednesday Night War episode for the first time against AEW Dynamite, of course. The former leader of the Bullet Club went on to become a regular fixture on the Black and Gold brand. Finn Balor challenged Adam Cole for the top title in the brand. In top title in December 2019, both men put on a match of the year contender. Perhaps it was the second match of the night because Rhea Ripley facing Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship was definitely the match of the night. I'll say second match of the night if it hadn't been for the Women's Championship match still in the show. But anyways, it was a contender, of course. I agree on free television. The challenger got extremely close to winning the match, but a distraction from Johnny Gargano sealed the win from the champion. Well, my apologies. I said Tommaso Ciampa. I mean his DUI tag DIY. My apologies. I said DUI. Never mind. Like DIY partner Johnny Gargano distracted Finn Balor and beat him in a post-match beatdown right after Adam Cole beating him for the NXT. When not Finn Balor, Adam Cole retained his NXT championship against Finn Balor. But anyways, we got a few honorable mentions with the likes of Velveteen Dreams defeating Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship in February 20th, 2019. We have Fatal 5-Way match in March 20th, which was a few weeks before I became Super Ninja Austin, and Damian Priest versus Pete Dunne in October 16th. I'll say that was a really good match with the future Butch taking on the future Punisher of the Judgment Day, which this when Damian Priest was more cooler because he was like more of the Archer of Infamy, which was very awesome in his NXT days. I mean, at first it was really good and pretty cool on the main roster, especially when he teamed with Bad Bunny against Miz and Morrison. But I think what killed the momentum of the cool Archer of Infamy gimmick was when he was when they put him when he had the gimmick, when they overly used the gimmick of him having a very bad temper and he always lose by DQ, which was very bad. Yeah, of course, I'll say very, very bad for them overusing it. But anyways, we also have Adam Cole versus Dominik Dijakovic. And then we had the War Games match Adam Cole versus Dominik Dijakovic in a War Games Advantage ladder match, which I believe Adam Cole won that match. Yeah, because it was like first there was a 4-on-3 disadvantage for Team Keith Lee, which he only Tommaso Ciampa. My apologies. Tommaso Ciampa was the leader, and it was him, Keith Lee, Dominik Dijakovic, and their mystery partner of their choosing at the War Games pay-per-view, at the NXT TakeOver War Games pay-per-view, which it was the surprise. It was the surprising return of the prize fighter himself, Kevin Owens, that helped them get the victory against the Undisputed Era. Anyways, we also had Angel Garza versus Lio Rush for the NXT Championship on December 11th for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match, which is another match that was really good. Was a really entertaining bout, and after the match, when Angel Garza won and became the new NXT the NXT Cruiserweight champion, he brought in his girlfriend into the ring and proposed to her, yeah, right on the spot, which she immediately said yes, which they got engaged. And what's your favorite? And what's y'all's favorite part of the best times of the best times, if not the greatest time in NXT in 2019? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And also, that was your list of your wildest wrestling news for today's video in November 21st, 2023. Onto the WrestleZone article, the wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know. And which one was your favorite wrestling news stories of today's video? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, click the bell notification so you won't miss to be notified when I upload my next video. And it's free, and it's guaranteed if you want to change your mind later. And also share with your family and friends all over social media. Make this channel grow, and this channel is called at Super Ninja Austin 213, and later on I'm gonna be making my usual NXT review video, which is gonna be my 15th review of NXT of the white and yellow brand, I should say. And one thing was going to go down, and we're going to see the NXT Women's Championship match, perhaps going to be in the main event for the show, which will be Lyra Valkyria defending her title against Xia Li. And who you think is going to walk out the victory? My opinion is going to be on Lyra Valkyria, because I can name plenty of reasons, but I can name two right now. One of them being that she just won. One of them being that she's the biggest star in NXT, like the upcoming star of NXT, and she did so by facing Becky Lynch in the process, like at the Halloween Havoc Night 1 event the week before Halloween, which I reviewed that. Make sure y'all check that out on October 24th, 2023. But she dethroned the man, which is her idol, becoming the new NXT Women's Champion. and she's going to defend her first defense against Xia Li. And she just won the title, so that's one of the other reasons why she can she's going to retain, like, because this is she's been only champion for barely even a month. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below, what y'all think about this. And plus, Xia Li's on Monday Night Raw, so I don't think she's gonna win the championship either way. Like, though she wouldn't win it either way, but I would say I don't think she would be willing to be on Raw defending that title, even if she does win. She'll probably be full time in NXT, but I don't think she'll do double working duties like Becky Lynch did when she was NXT Women's Champion. But yeah, I've been your host, Super Ninja Austin. This was the 135th episode of the SNA podcast. And hopefully I'll see you guys on my 136th episode where I'm reviewing NXT. Yep, I still have my Travis Kelce jersey on because I'm going to be rooting for him at WrestleMania 40 if he has that match against Grayson Waller. And I'll see you. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep making these reviews until it's WrestleMania time. But hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you have a great Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday morning as well. And I'll see you all in the next wrestling news video. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out. Bye-bye, my SNA fans. See you on the next one.